Hey, everybody. I'm upside down. That's kind of how our life is right now, right? Let me see if I can go fix that. So now I'm right side up, upside down. I think I'm right side up now. So strange to be using this new tool called Screencastify. And these are my learning mistakes, and that's when you learn, right? When you make mistakes. So hopefully this works. I want to teach you a quick lesson on how to solve simple ratio problems. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and flick the dot cam down to the piece of paper, which will now make that upside down. Go see if I can flick that around. Hopefully it's going the correct way now. And looks like you can see this on your screen. Hopefully. So ratios. All ratios are a way of comparing numbers. Okay. Um, in this case, I have a bunch of circles. Some of them are red; those are the R's. Some of them are green, the G's, and the black ones have the little BL. Okay. If I were to try to figure out the ratio of something like all of the red to green, the easiest way to make sure you get these problems right is to first write what they are asking in words. So in this case, red to green. Okay. And then the next thing I do is I go count how many red circles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would write that number right above the letter if I can write on what I'm using. Right. Same thing with the green. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put a 4. So now my ratio of red to green is 6 to 4. Remember, you can write it like that with the word. You can write it like that with the colon. And when you read that, you read it just like the word, 6 to 4. The third way is like a fraction with the first number being the numerator, the one that goes on top, 6 to 4. Now, when you see it as a fraction, you might say, hey, I can simplify that because 2 goes into both 4 and 6. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and it goes into 4 2 times. So the ratio of 6 to 4 is equal to 3 to 2. Okay. And just like fractions, if you can simplify it, you probably should. Okay. Even when they don't ask you to specifically. That's just a rule of thumb. So let's do the next one. What if they were asking the ratio of red to black? Well, again, I've already counted the red ones. There are 6. How many black? 1, 2. So the ratio is going to be 6 to 2. Pretty simple, right? Again, you can write it with the colon. You can write it as a fraction. And when you see it as a fraction, you realize, hey, I can simplify that. That's the same as 3 to 1. Now, I wrote the word rate there. A rate is a special ratio where you have simplified it so that the second number or bottom number is 1. A ratio of 3 to 1 is a rate. It's a special kind of ratio. Now, you could force a ratio to be a rate by dividing the bottom into the top and then having something like that to 1. So example, if my ratio was 5 to 2 and I divide the bottom into the top to simplify it, I end up with 2.5 on top and 2.5 to 1. Now, that might look really weird to you if you think of it as a fraction, but think of it as a ratio or a rate, and now my ratio or rate is 2.5 to 1. Okay, that is really handy when you go to compare ratios. Okay, let's do the last one here. For example, comparing the ratio of red to all. Now, that gets a little tricky. We know there are 6 red. When I count them all, I'm going to include the red. The red are part of all these circles here. So I have my 6 red, my 4 green, and 2 black. When I add all those up, that's 12. So the ratio of red to all is 6 to 12. And again, you can see that simplifies all the way down 1 to 2. That's all you really have to do when you do ratios. Again, I remind you, if you want to make sure you get these right, spend a little bit of extra time writing the ratios of what they're asking in words first, and then just simply put the numbers on top. If you don't do that, there's all sorts of tricky ways they can make you get confused and get the wrong answer. All right, that is my very first Screencastify lesson recording. Let's see if it works here.